So I was living in a city before I moved over here. I was living in Riverside. I called it North. No, I called it Southeast Riverside because the part of Riverside I lived in, it was just pretty going. It was pretty much going to be taking you toward San Diego. And we was living in these two. We had two houses over there. One we moved in, cute little house. I didn't like how it was kind of set up. I didn't really check that part out, but it was cool. Had a 1-car garage. We had a lot of stuff. So we was over there, and we was paying month to month, $2,700 a month. It would have been 25, but we chose month to month because we didn't know what we was gonna do, and we were supposed to be buying a house and all that. Then I used to go driving through that community, and it was a beautiful community and all of that. And I used to come down there. I discovered this street called Rickenbacker. And I used to drive down that street, and at the end, oh my God, it was a beautiful view. And I used to just drive down that street just to go up to the end, and it was at the end of the cul-de-sac. And one day I took another lady that lived across the street. We was riding somewhere, and I showed her the street. And it was beautiful. And I just would drive over there sometime at night or the daytime before I went home and see and admire that street, that view. And one day the lady was with me again because I was swimming in pretty good shape. And I used to go treat myself to a frappe, a caramel frappe, extra caramel on the side, and on top of the whipped cream. And sometimes I would get me a grilled cheese. So she said when we went, she said, Twyla, I think this house is available. And I inquired, and the house was, of course, it was a house there at the end of the cul-de-sac. The view was mine. And we moved in, and we spent money doing that. That wasn't the wisest move, but it's what I wanted to do. And I regret it now because that took about $9,000 out of our pocket to do that move. Because they made us pay the whole month's rent for the current place we was moving in, the whole month's rent for the second place. And the second place was $3,095. Okay? But it was beautiful. It was big. The other place had a fireplace too, but we never used that fireplace. It was just lovely. But I didn't like the kitchen. The kitchen was so small. But it had a huge 2-car garage. And I love a garage. That's where I came from in Palm Springs, a garage. Well, anyway, moved there, and then you had to pay a $2,000, what's that? To transfer from one house to another. But I fell for it. We spent that money, and we enjoyed it. And then Errol started working in this area. And then it used to pain me to get that $3,000. $3,095. So anyway, I've been through some changes and some adjustments. Anyway, but I have been preparing for that for many years. We just cut out a lot of things in life you just really don't have to do. So we used to travel a lot. But then, traveling, that's work. You need a vacation from taking a dang vacation. And then you don't spend all that money. And not that I don't go nowhere and do nothing, but I just made adjustments. So thank God we had that experience. And then when he started working over here, I love this area. It reminded me of Palm Springs. small city, just beautiful, really nice. It just looked laid. It just laid. I just love it here. So we started looking over here, and so we wouldn't be commuting from Riverside. But lessons learned. So now I was hoping to buy a house, but now this Trump don't got in. I don't know. Because, and then I'm thinking, I don't want to live under a dictatorship. I got options. I got a passport. My husband got to renew his. And he got to get his American passport. But he said he ain't even tripping on the American passport. America don't went and voted for a gang banger. Okay, who don't like people. Okay, I don't know how these Hispanic and Latino men and women, the way he talk about women. You know, you can live a lonely life when people around you can just do anything and vote for anybody and respect gangsters. I've never been into gangsters, drug dealers, street folk, and all that. And I know a lot of them, but I mean, I don't look up to people like that. I've always liked intellectual people I can learn something from, and people that know how to live life. So, this dude is gonna do the most, and people not gonna like it. The economy is doing good. You know when the economy bad is when a person is in a soup line. They don't have no money. So if you got money, if stuff is high, but I can afford it, at least it's something to be grateful for. Okay, food is high, but I can afford to buy me some food. I'm supposed to be grateful. Okay? And especially if I wasn't saving no money from the cheaper prices that I had experienced. But people turn on President Biden that gave them all kinds of stimulus. People got business loans. He paid their rents. He gave their kids food stamps. Like I already gave the kids a separate food stamp card. He did a lot. And people turned on the man for Trump. Now let's see what Trump gonna do. And see what he gonna do. He gonna give a tax cut to the rich. And he gonna say because they provide jobs. That's not a good reason. Because, hold on. Child, I had to readjust my wig cap. It was feeling tight. And then I hear black men saying, I'm voting for Trump because he gave me a stimulus check. No, Nancy Pelosi gave you a stimulus check, boo. And that check gone. Now, I can see, just say if Trump gave a stimulus check and he gave it out every month. Every month you give him $1,400. Then I can see. But that even came from the Democratic Party. Thank God Congress. See, Congress is a one body. The Senate is another. The presidency is the executive. Then you got the judiciary, the Supreme Court, but I call it the ghetto court now. Thank God Congress was Democratic. I guarantee you, if people had voted in 2022 like they voted in 2020, and we had got a Congress, Oh, it would have been more money going out to the public. But this Congress ain't going to do it. It's over. America is done. It's over. And see, if you're not a student of politics, and if you don't know, you can't live somewhere like I think about moving to other countries. But I have to know something about a country if I'm going to go live in the country. I got to know how it works. I got to know the system. Is it a democratic system? Is it a dictator system? Is it an authoritarian system? What kind of system am I going to? So, what gives me comfort is my husband. Wow, God bless me to just be in the right place at the right time. And thank God I had standards when I was dating. I said I would never, unless he was rich, never date a man who had kids, ever. I didn't have no kids. I mean, I was hanging out with this dude, God rest his soul, Reggie. Reggie was a nice guy, and he had been through some things in life, and he helped me with a breakup. I was, you know, you have a breakup, you need somebody to talk to. Well, excuse me. So I talked to Reggie, and we became friends. He wanted to be this, that, and the other, but he had 6 kids. And he kept trying. He said, oh, you think if we ever get together that I can bring my kids and some of my kids could live with us? And I said, well, if you're going to be getting up cooking and cleaning and washing clothes and combing their hair, I said, because I'm not doing that. I don't have no kids. I made a decision in my youth because I saw stuff around me in my youth. And I said, I don't want no kids. And I made sure I did the proper thing not to have kids. Because I was in a surrounding that basically showed me that kids was a burden. And I didn't want kids to be burdening me down, and I didn't want to be into that. So if I had no kids, I took care of my niece for a few years, and my brother came and sneaked and got her. And then after that, I was, I was just very upset. To this day, I'm upset because I think her life would have turned out different. In fact, I know it would have turned out different. All right, so back to, I made my decision. Thank God my husband, I met him while I was dating Reggie. Not dating, we just hanging out. Literally, just hanging out. And I lived in Vegas, he lived in Bellflower, and I would come down, and he worked at night, so I stayed at his house. He come home in the daytime, and then I'd be out and about visiting, because California, LA, my city. And so he took me to this place, this restaurant to eat, and that's where I met my husband. And thank God, everything just worked out. That was actually 20 years ago next month. We've been together almost ever since. I don't even know if we've spent 2 nights away from each other. And that was me because I had somewhere to go. So anyway, back to talking. So it's going to be a new world order now. This man's going to treat this country like it's his. And what I can't understand is this people love rich people. And the rich people don't do nothing for nobody but themselves. They cold-blooded. I've seen rich people can be cold-blooded. Rich people can know people are poor and ain't got nothing or whatever, working class, just basically ain't got what they have. And they don't care. They're not gonna try to change lives. They're like, this is my money, I made it. Ah, da, 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 da. No, that's money God blessed you to make. And not that you got to give everybody, but you should be willing to help people. But we go and vote with rich people. That's like the what they say is a saying, that the axe convinced the forest. The axe convinced the forest. The trees convinced the forest to vote for the axe that's cutting the trees down. Makes no sense. So I'm gonna just pull through this. It's funny. I was watching a TV show the other day. This lady, I admire brave people. This lady was a single lady, and she was living in Mazatlan. I've heard of Mazatlan, and I said, "Oh, let me look at this." And she just talking about her life, and there's other Americans living there, and she lived in a condo like this one, similar, like where the rooms were pretty big, and lady said she was paying $450 a month from her American pension. She said she paid $450 a month, and she said that particular place she was living wasn't furnished. She had to buy some furniture. So she said she spent about $1,000 for that. Apparently, most places down there that are furnished. She said she spent so much money for her food, and she gets to go out to dinner, and she go have drinks with her friends. And she said she'll go down, walk. She's like 5-minute walk from the beach. What? And it was beautiful. Her place was beautiful and huge, and they had them stone tiles, so they had no carpet or wood floors. And I like that too. And I was telling him, I said, we could do that. But y'all, I'm stressed. But I ain't looking at no TV like news and stuff. I see it on stuff on Facebook. I might even look a little bit or whatever. He gonna round up them Hispanic people. See, the problem with that, they can round up black people, throw them in the mix too. Take your cell phone, your ID. See, people don't think. When you get lawlessness in office, and people with no decorum and no dignity and no respect, they already sending out a text talking about all black people report to the cotton field to pick cotton. Black people voted for that. Some of them. The men. The losers. And the ones that want to control women. And I don't know who I'm saying this for. You know how they say that. I don't know who needed to hear this. But my mother said, she taught me, don't take no mess off no man. She said, when you a nice looking, pretty woman, you don't take no mess off no man. But I go further than that. Any type of woman. Why are you taking something off of a man? He ain't got you living on a hill, and I don't get it. Self-respect. I'm not going to be beholden to nobody but God. Yeah, wives, obey your husbands. But when you telling me to do something stupid, wives, obey your husband. You go tell me to jump off a roof. I'm supposed to obey you. You know, people take the Bible and mess it all and do they. The Bible say also, husbands and wives, submit yourselves to your husband, and husbands, submit yourself to your wife. Submit yourself one to another. You're not supposed to. I learned. Be back.